Welcome back to Ferocious. This is Zed. Today we're going to be talking about ATVK. Now I've had a lot of requests on this one on Twitter, so here it is coming up. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe and leave notifications on, and let's jump right into this one. So ATVK is one of the OTCs that are coming up in a form of a SPAC, and it's causing a lot of hype recent days. I'm going to go a bit through due diligence, even though it's a little bit harder with their website literally not being up, with just mainly a Twitter button that gets you into their Twitter account. But we're going to try to cover as much possible information as we can, and then diving into the technical analysis, a bit of a look into the CEO and his previous projects, and a little bit more about Bosky, which is the the most recent acquisitions or holding that they have at the current time. So starting off, since we don't have a lot of information on here, we'll need to get a little bit creative in that sense. So some of this information might be just a tad outdated, but first off, we can go on to Yahoo here, ATVK, and go on and check their basic description. So basically, they focus on designing and manufacture vapor axial depositions outside vapor deposition optical fiber preforms. These optical fiber preforms are mainstay for fiber optic cables that are used to telecommunication industry to transmit large amount of data to and from communication towers and internet. So it looks like they work in optic fiber cables supplies. Now the next thing here is we want to cover a little bit of the only source of communication we have other than the SEC filing, which is their Twitter account. Now I do really like that they are very active on this recently. Now of course back in 2018, May 2018 was the last communication, and then it resumed back in November 11th, 2020. And it really started with just basic things coming up. So their new website here is the exact one I just literally pulled up. And they're working on basically filing documents with the state and federal agencies as fast as possible. Next coming up is they're finally reviewing the reports, the very final basic minor copy and paste issues here that have been uploaded. Now, the company will be switching to a calendar year. We already know that. Our profile will need to be updated first before any status will change. That's today. Next thing is they merged with Bosky, and basically they have restricted common stock and preferred stock to Bosky shareholders. Ameritek switched to canonical stock transfer. Our OTC market profile will be updated, allowing for paying current. Now, honestly, just right off the bat, I do feel just a tad that there is a little bit of pumping in this one. And of course, you got to be vigilant on OTC's markets with a little bit of pumping and whatnot. But we're coming in with this one in an open mind, and we want to see, well, how far is things going, and will we get more news regarding this? And from the looks of it, it looks like they will be also updating the ETA of this one. It says a couple of business days, so perhaps on Monday actually would be, today we're covering in Thursday, probably hear anything about it Monday on new PR. Well, the new PR, we're not sure. That will be basically giving us a bit more of an insight about their status. I'm getting a little bit of pumping vibe on here from their own company, but we're going to move on from there. I can quickly go on towards their financials, but I did get a lot of basic criticism regarding this about, hey, they're actually doing stuff that are new. So what we're going to do here is just quickly go on the unaudited quarterly report, or I believe this is actually their final financial report for quarterly report for September 30th, 2020. And the only thing I'm looking to see here is how much money do they actually have. Their total assets is somewhere around 12,906, very stable towards September 30th, 2019. So it looks like it was almost inactive in that sense. The total liabilities has increased a little. The big difference on here is the account payables and the accrued interest. And that looks to be the big difference. Revenues, there was no revenues from 2019 to 2020, so it was almost more of an inactive. From the first looks of it is that it could be a shell. Now, what we get to see here is that from the mentioning of the SEC filing they have, the company did file a Form 15 to 15D on November 18th, 2020. It did not file any financial business operations data prior to that date. Therefore, I'm unable to determine if it was formally a shell company as defined in Rule 405 of the Security Act and Exchange during that time frame. Based on its annual report year ended May 31st, 2020, the company indicates it's not currently a shell company as it's pursuing identified business plan. owning fiber optic patents with a desire to develop those fiber optic rights, maintaining assets at $12,096, and reported revenue of $0.00. So we get to see, while yes, they're saying they're not shell, yet in a way they are operating as a SPAC, but they're not really reverse merging. They're mainly creating these holdings, and we get to know a little bit more as days come. So right off the bat, we don't have a lot of information. Some of the things we want to cover today is just a quick recap about their CEO. So Sean Pasley, and I try to go on here quickly on LinkedIn, and I was able to locate him. It's a busy person here. They are working with Flex Fridge, which is a patented 4 cubic feet mini fridge. Flex Fridge was designed to allow hotels, businesses to have a big mini fridge in their hotels and offices, etc. So that is one of the companies they're working with on Flex Fridge. Their website is www.flexfridge.com. And they are, for all I know, they are not actually on the market for investors. But it's been around for not quite a long time. If you go to About Us, it's back in 2011. It started as a school project. Now, the next thing he's working on is ePAS. So that one, by the way, was 7 years and 11 months. The next thing he's working on was, for 20 years, ePAS Inc. as a chairman and CEO. And for that one here, they are a blockchain company, and basically working with blockchain payments, cloud infrastructure, etc. And if we were to go back to their About Us page, of course, we get to see that they specialize in enterprise cryptocurrency, blockchain, mobile apps, and cloud-based businesses process softwares with over 500 repeat customers. New Bitcoin mobile app is a financial technology company that offers unique Bitcoin payments, mobile apps, softwares. And once we go on here to investors, I don't see any OTC information, but if you would like to jump around here and check some of the stuff, it might be worth it for you to do so. Now, next thing we have is this one here, Xenadrone, and what we get to see here is basically it is a drone system. Reminds me a little bit of what we've seen just a tad about UAVs, so to address the exclusive needs of the world's greatest complex industry environment. This one has manufactured up a completely automated stage that is completely automated, industrial grade, on-demand, multi-purpose. They feature compromised, stable camera, etc. And it looks like they have 4K videos on it for high megapixel photos. And I don't see exactly what the purpose is, but they say it's multi-purpose, and you get to see they have successfully taken on tests and whatnot all the way up to April 12, 2020. Now, I do know one of these are actually public, so I do believe it's ePAS that is public here. Yes, they actually go on as a ticker EPAZ for 4 cents and 4/10 of a cent. And in the last, let's say, 6 months or 1 year, it looks like things aren't the best, but it does look like it does have still some activity in the market. And that is the CEO and the experience that he has, or they have. I don't know exactly what their pronouns are. Now, the next thing here is their education. You get to see they do have finance, IT, MBA, product development masters, PhD in value-driven leadership, business administration, and Master of Science in law, intellectual properties. So it looks like we have a bit more of someone who works in is dabbled in quite a lot of academia. It looks like they have been taking a degree after another. Quite interesting in my perspective. So we have a little bit of limited information in that sense. The person we're looking at is 42. There's public assets around $41 million. And more than that, we don't really know much about him. So we need to move on a little bit to technical analysis to get a perspective of how far this one will go. Now, on a technical analysis perspective, what we get to see here is things are a bit more interesting. Now, your MACD here is really, really strong. It shows a really bullish sign. Momentum is incredibly bullish. 1% has been at this level, a little bit around the overbought for a while. ADX here, it shows it's a very dangerous sign where a pullback is very likely at any second now, and it can really crash fast. But nonetheless, it looks like it's stable and then increasing. It hasn't yet hit that pullback level on a 1 week perspective. Moving averages are extremely bullish. 10 SMA, the green line, is above the red line, 30 EMA, and it's above the purple line, which is the 50 SMA. Now, between 4 and 3 cents is your trading action zone where you can see reversals. Now, on a 1 day perspective, you get to see that trading action zone is between 11 and 7 cents, where if it does drop around there, expect a bounce. 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA, and that is bullish. Now, the ADX gives us the exact same thing we've seen on a 1 week perspective, where it's very dangerous to hold any higher here. Yet, in terms of momentum, still bullish. MACD still bullish, yet slowing down just a tad, and William Percent R is highly overbought. Now, on a 2 hour perspective, ignore the after hours. There's no after hours in OTC markets. You get to see that we are attempting on the MACD a negative reversal, and the momentum is dipping a little. That's the only thing. It's very dangerous at that level, but below 13 cents, it turns bearish on the moving averages. But you do expect that it does see bounces between 17 cents and 13 cents, as that is the trading action zone that is bullish. Now, the next thing is the moving average band. It's between 8 cents on the top, 7 cents in the middle, and 6 cents in the bottom. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both showing something that looks to be somewhat bullish with a warning. So the warning here is saying that, okay, we might actually start seeing a little bit of a smaller drop or a pullback, yet it might have another leg up as they're both pointing a bit upwards. Next thing here we have is Fibonacci retracements. We get to see a support at the 16 cents. Below there, we're looking at 1250 in terms of cents, and then you have around 10 cents sharp, and then you have around, say, 78 cents, and then down to 49 cents. Now, if we were to quickly try to find significant supports and resistances using just, let's say, a 1 hour perspective in the last month, we're able to determine that the current support sits at exactly 17 cents, 16.50, and then going down to 14.50, $13 cents sharp, and then all the way down as it drops to just a little bit below 10 cents, and then going down all the way to 7 cents and then to 5 cents. Significant resistances are only a few. You have your 18 cents and then you have your 20 cents. Now, I would say the only significant resistance on the way is probably 18 cents. After it breaks that, you do expect for it to run. Now, comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? I am definitely intrigued about the action. Now, I'm not really happy about the lack of information thereof regarding this one here, and their plans is a little bit unclear, yet I am feeling that there might be some PRs coming up. It's very, very high risk, and I usually don't like OTCs in that sense because they're very speculative. And in this case, they are very speculative, and you do expect that if in fact they do pull this one through and some positive PRs come in, probably I'd say it has a day or two more off green. How far it will go, I cannot predict that whatsoever, but it is a very, very dangerous sign here. Yes, there is a very strong trend here, yet all the indicators are telling you, even if there is a leg up, it can tank fast. And that is the only thing you need to worry about. Whether investments, I don't invest in OTCs a lot. And this one here, it's very scary to invest in an OTC that aren't giving you a lot of clear information. Now, it looks like they are actually being a little bit interested in updating that information. That is amazing, but yet we don't understand the exact level of information we have. And the one thing that I want to mention here is the company they're actually merging with, which is Boski. I did actually try to go onto their website. At least that is the one that is mentioned on the information here on Brad Street. It says Boski Inc. is located in the United States and is part of the audio and video equipment manufacturing industry. It has a total of 5 total employees in this location and generates $272,000 in sales in American dollars. And I went ahead and I tried to go onto their website, and unfortunately their website is not logging in. So I'm not sure if it's actually down for traffic or it's not maintained currently or some kind of maintenance is going on, but we don't have that information. And so for investing, I'll probably not go in. If you're trading, I think there might be a little bit off green potential level, but it's a very, very high risk. And I'm not sure if the reward is worth it, but in a lot of cases in OTCs, the reward is very worth it in terms of approaching the risk. Just be very careful and try not to marry the stock. What do you think about this stock? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.